Welcome to Brush and Roll. I'm Robert, and today we're going to teach you how to prep a room and get it ready for paint. Alright, so we've gone ahead and laid a layer of protective carpet film on the entire floor. This works great for carpeted surfaces. One side's sticky, that goes down to the carpet, and the top is not sticky, so everything can be protected. Then what we do is we take a canvas drop cloth, this one's actually vinyl, and we cover the floor again so that things can't be punctured and we have a double layer of protection down. So we're going to show you along the edges here. We put 2 rows of white masking tape. When it comes to carpet, we find that this white masking tape sticks the best, and we're going to teach you how to tuck it under the base, and we usually go ahead and add a second row to make sure that everything is properly sealed. So Gabe's applying a 2-inch white tape down to the carpet, and he's going to basically use his 5-in-1, the scraper tool here, to tuck it under the base so that when we spray, you can make sure that nothing is going to get on those carpet fibers along the base. So it's very important to make sure that you get underneath the base when you're doing this process. So we've gone ahead and removed all of the door hardware. We'll leave the hinges attached. We're going to spray these doors, and we're going to show you how to mask these off with blue masking tape. We make sure that all the portholes are covered from the other side so that no overspray goes through and enters the other room. As well as on the other side of the door here, we stretch plastic from here to here, from the top down to the bottom, and seal that off so that no overspray mist can come through these openings. With your outlets and the wall and the light switches, you want to make sure that they're covered with about 2 pieces of 1.5-inch blue tape. Some of you might carry 2-inch tape on your truck or purchase that from the store, and that can work as well. But you want to make sure that the sides of the box are covered so that no paint's going through and getting on the electrical wires. You want to make sure you don't go too far and get on the wall, and make sure that whole outlet gets covered. And you're going to want to do that to every outlet and every switch in the room. When you have a hinge pointing into the room that you're painting, what you basically need to do is tuck blue tape behind it, wrap upwards and down, fold that over, and run one more strip along this edge. So we're going to go ahead and do that to all 6 hinges in this room, and then we're going to show you how to mask off the windows. Alright, so we're going to mask off these windows. For the sake of the video, we're going to teach you how to mask off the glass. These windows actually do not get painted. They have a factory finish on them, and we're going to leave them that way. But for the sake of the video, we want to teach you, in case you encounter wood windows that do need to be painted, that you'll know how to properly mask things off. This works well for brushing, spraying, anything you want just to protect the glass. The basics with plastic are, the roll here is 400 feet long when you first buy it. So if you unroll this, it'll go out 400 feet. And when you open it up, it'll be 12 feet wide. Some plastic comes in different widths, 9 foot. Some on the applicator guns can be, in a couple foot increments, 2 foot, 48 inches. But we prefer to use this. It's clingy on one side, so it'll stick to the window. And we like to do them by hand. We don't use a lot of the applicator guns unless we're kind of more in commercial setting. It'll speed things up a little bit. but with as few windows as we have, we'll do things by hand. So you can see now, Gabe has this sized to fit the window. It's clinging to the window without even having any tape on there. And I'll explain how to actually cut the tape for the corners. If you stick the tape along the edge, and this is along the top of the window, you want to have kind of an angle here. It doesn't have to be exactly 45 degrees, but we'll say 45 degrees. This will tuck up in the corner, and then this whole edge will stay off the side sash there. You'll stretch it along, and then you're going to see him use a putty knife or maybe his knife to get that angle on the other side. All right, so here's an example of a fully masked off window. If you were going to go this route, obviously you would take off the hardware, and then you would have to mask off these tracks here as well. When you spray, it's tricky because you have to move these things up and down as you're going to make sure you're getting the edge. So you also have to mask off the outer sill to make sure that overspray is not going out, remove any screens on the house or storms that might be there. And that's the route that you would go. But for this house here, we're actually going to apply a piece of tape along this edge and mask off one big sheet of plastic, and we'll be ready to spray. When you get to an oblong shape like this half round window here, what we like to do is fit the plastic first and then take our tape, and you're going to have to cut a lot of little pieces. If you do 3 or 4 pieces and curve along that edge, you're not going to achieve the full circle. Things aren't going to be tight with your tape line there. So very important to have the patience, and basically you're going to rip a lot of maybe 1-inch pieces to make that curve. So we'll show you how it's done. Typically what I'll do in a shape like this is get a couple pieces of tape up there so I can pin the plastic up and then cut it to fit the right size. What you can also do is fold everything behind. You'll have a little bit of excess plastic back there. As long as your piece of plastic is tight, you'll have a good finish and a good outcome. So sometimes it's hard to trim along that edge. Some people, you might be a little OCD, you want to cut it to make everything appear really tight from the outside. It's not going to affect the outcome. So either way, it's kind of a preference. What I'm doing now is just more or less folding it behind there. Okay, we've gone ahead and just doubled up this edge here just to make sure that there's no gaps or spaces between the tape and the plastic. So this window, for all intents and purposes, as far as plastic goes, it's ready to spray. This morning, before we even started masking off the room, we went around and caulked all the joints that needed it. We use this product here by Tower Sealants. It's called Accelerator. They claim that you can spray right away. It's brushable within 30 minutes. We like to give it a good 3 or 4 hours at least. It's always best if you can let things sit overnight. But in this case, where we have a day and a half to do this room, we're going to go ahead and give it till after lunch before we spray. So as we finish things up here now and get ready to take lunch, we have all the windows masked off. The flooring is covered. We have 2 rows of tape going around the edge on that carpet protective film. All the hinges are covered with plastic. All the door handles have been removed. All the outlet covers have been covered with 2 rows of tape. And we're getting ready to take a break. And the next video, we're going to teach you how to spray the trim.